Well, good evening. It's great to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here. So as you probably know, I've invited you here tonight to celebrate this new book that's coming out, this new collection, which is called Sprinter Runs the Marathon. It is actually my 18th collection. And you know, I've written hundreds and hundreds of poems, and before that, I wrote hundreds and hundreds of songs, which kind of begs the question, what's up with that? Why this compulsive need to do this? Well, I have a theory. It's kind of new, but I'm going to share it with you. And for the sake of this theory, you have to kind of imagine that there's two Daves. This Dave is the sort of struggling, searching, trying to make sense of things, trying to figure out what's going on. And this other Dave knows and has the answers. This Dave is really pretty loud and not at all subtle. This Dave is so quiet that he's practically mute. So what does he have to do? Right. He leaves notes. He leaves notes all over the place in the hope that this Dave will read them and say, oh, all right. So what happens to all those notes? Sprinter runs the marathon. This is winners and survivors. Some are born with a spark. Some are born with a hunger, a will that metastasizes into a belief that they will triumph because they're meant to. And we admire them for that. Some are born with a soul limp. Some are born tired. Some are born to have more questions than answers. Some are born tangled in the cord of doubt. Some climb into the ring with the certainty that they're going to win, and we admire them for that. Some climb through the ropes against a stronger, faster opponent, knowing that they are likely to get their asses kicked, and they go anyway, and we should admire them more. This is Not Much Matters. Thinking back, he realizes that he almost never cried from pain. Pain was a sometimes necessary byproduct of curiosity, and it often occurred when he was alone. He fell out of a tree once and landed so hard he couldn't breathe. He sliced his thumb almost to the bone. He crashed his bike speeding downhill and slid 20 feet on hot asphalt. He did not cry, as there was no one to cry for. Cursing, on the other hand, could be done alone. It's not that he never cried. Of course he did, just not from pain. He cried from indignity. He cried from embarrassment, which required witnesses. So crying became shameful and pointless, so instead, he learned to pack his indignity and humiliation like snowballs, cold, hard lumps that he swallowed until his soul felt like a knapsack filled with rocks, until the painful load hurt so much that it made him cry from the honest dismay of it. And he began to feel clean and light for the first time in years. And he discovered that not much mattered, including that. It's okay. What I forgot to tell you is this. Tonight's going to be a little different. Rather than the usual thing of each poem being sort of a standalone piece, I've broken tonight up into sort of 3 movements, each with their own kind of musical thing, and there'll be breaks in between when those who want to make a shitload of noise absolutely should. Anyway, back to our program. This is Repairman. The parents had called him to take a look at their 12-year-old Mikey, because the school had said that unless something was done, he could not ride the bus anymore. He's asleep? Asked the repairman. The father nodded. Yeah, he sleeps like a log. The repairman gently removed the top of the sleeping boy's head and attached the wires to the video screen. The boy's dream showed a spiral staircase going down, and swarming up it like an army of ants was a long ribbon of angry men wielding hatchets, each chasing the man in front of them, racing unending up the stairs. He's obsessed with revenge, whispered the mother, and what people think of him. He takes things he doesn't need and fights constantly. The repairman nodded. He'd seen this problem a lot lately. He was glad they hadn't waited until Mikey was older and dangerous. He clicked on his flashlight and the parents leaned in. Okay, you see that blinking red diode? That's the violence circuit. Now follow that red wire to that screw block. That's the ego terminal. Now follow that yellow wire. See that? There? The mother drew in a breath. 2 crossed wires glowed the angry red of toaster elements. The father's face was a question mark. Fear and pride, answered the repairman. They're always too close. They get crossed all the time. Now, watch the screen. He reached in with a long pair of pliers and the screen flickered. And then they watched as the swarm of men rushed to the top of the stairs, to a parapet of sorts, and in a steady stream, each man leapt from the tower, dropping his axe and spreading his arms. They floated like hawks towards the river valley below. This is called Leo. I am a Leo. The reason that cats sleep so much is because when they hunt, they do so with a burst of energy, so they have to store up potential. They lack the organization of the bee, the industry of the beaver, or the focus and endurance of the wolf. But when they finally go, they go fast. My brain works like that. Lacking the organization of the bee, the industry of the beaver, or the focus and endurance of the wolf, my brain spends most of its time sleeping or licking itself or staring out the window waiting for an idea. But boy, when the idea comes, all hell breaks loose and it can be disastrous. If I had my own coat of arms, it would have the inscription, "It seemed like a good idea at the time. When the flashbulb of an idea goes off, it can be illuminating, or it can have all manner of detrimental effects on people or things or myself. This is why I'm so pleased that my brain has taken up poetry. What is the worst that could happen? A bad poem? This is Restless Mind. My mind was restless, so I turned it loose in the house, and it did pretty much what you'd expect. Ran from room to room, looking at, touching, and sniffing random objects, knocked half the books off the shelves and read a paragraph of each, looked in the fridge 4 or 5 times, checked voicemail and email and the mailbox and the thermostat and the sump pump, ordered things from catalogs, fought with the cat, wrote angry letters and tore them up, wept over photo albums, played the radio, tried on clothes, rearranged the cupboards. On the bright side, it gave my soul a half hour to sit quietly and gaze out the window. Thank you so much, and welcome, latecomers. Good to see you. So, my first collection, Sweet, came out in 2006, which seems like an unbelievably long time ago. And so the poems that are in this collection range from 2006 to last November, the whole stretch. I will say this about this book. It came to me in sort of a light bulb moment in the shower, I think, because that's when that happens for some reason. And it arrived fully formed. I saw the cover. I knew what was in it. I had the name. I thought, okay, this is it. I have to do this. It makes perfect sense. This explains everything. It's going to be the most important thing I ever did. And of course, soon after, I thought, you know what? This is the stupidest thing. I should put it in a drawer. I should go back to my life because no one's going to enjoy it or get it. It's just going to make you look dumb. Don't do it. And my third thought, which was a reaction to the second thought, was that's exactly why I'm going to do it. And this is Dear Diary. On Monday, everyone was fascinating. On Tuesday, everyone bored me to tears. On Wednesday, everyone was noble and or wise. On Thursday, everyone was an idiot or worse. Friday, everyone was dangerous or at least undependable. On Saturday, I drank wine and everyone was my flawed but lovable brother or sister. On Sunday, I just wanted to be left alone. On Monday, everybody moved too fast. On Tuesday, everyone had forgotten about the money they owed me. And on Wednesday, everyone surprised me with their kindness. And on Thursday, everyone got something that they didn't need on sale. And on Friday, everyone let me down. On Saturday, everyone offered me a ride when my car wouldn't go. On Sunday, I vowed not to give a shit what everyone thought of me. And on Monday, I wondered if I would ever learn to quiet my mind. On Tuesday, everyone broke my heart. On Wednesday, everyone repeated a lie. On Thursday, I was exhausted for no reason. On Friday, we all did something we thought we had to. On Saturday, I forgot. And on Sunday, I remembered. This poem is called My 2 Minutes Are Up, and this is probably the oldest poem in this whole thing. And I wrote it one night in one sitting, literally in about 2 minutes. Today, I want to talk for 2 minutes about the way things happen, or the way my thoughts happen, which is the same way that pool balls hit one another when someone bumps the table, as opposed to when an excellent trick shooter sends them cracking off each other and the cushions with purpose. No, that's not true. It's like pool balls being shot out of a bazooka by a blind man at a huge aquarium filled with other pool balls at the top of a spiral staircase. That's more like it, yeah. You see, with me, it's the way that music plays in my head. It starts with one song. Pick one. Any song. Okay. Van Morrison's Ball and Chain, which leads to Janis Joplin's Ball and Chain, which leads to Piece of My Heart, which leads to Merrily Rush's Angel of the Morning, which leads to Is That All There Is? I'm not sure why, that one's not so obvious, which leads to Fire by Crazy World of Arthur Brown, which leads to Touch Me by The Doors, which ends with the Ajax jingle, Stronger Than Dirt, which makes me wonder whatever happened to the man from Glad? Glad? Like Glad all over, now it's Dave Clark 5 to Petula Clark to Clark Kent to Clark Barr to Baby Ruth to Baby Please Don't Go to Them to Van Morrison to Ball and Chain. Love in vain, train kept a rolling on a river. Take me to the river, wrap it up, I'll take it, hold on, I'm coming. You really got a hold on me, Tears of a Clown, everybody loves the clown. Laugh, the Beau Brummelstones, Fred, Wilma, Barney, Andy, Aunt B, true to your school's out for summertime blues, shaking all over now, Baby Blue, Badfinger, Bad Company, Bad Luck, Harold Melvin, and the Blue Note Records. What's wrong with this picture? Van Morrison, I just want to be your ball and chain. But hold up. What if ball was supposed to lead to rip it up and ball tonight? Or circle, red rubber ball, or ball of confusion, ball and a biscuit, ballpark Franks, Frankie Lyman, and the teen angel of the morning. Good God, is that Merrily Rush again? Will it go round in circles? Will it fly high like a free bird, bird is the word? Papa was a rollin' ooh, mow, mow, now speed it up. Have it run 16, 17, 18 hours. All damn day. My 2 minutes are up. This is for Anna and Albert if you're watching. It's called Monday Night. I did it. Again. Made it through an entire day without shattering. Kept my balance while running over wet stones with an armload of landmines. Didn't cry, didn't curse, didn't damage any relationships, did not pity myself or blame others. No one knows how brave and strong I am because I won't let them know. I hide all that in poems, a place where nobody looks. was young, my mother, in an attempt to sort of pacify me and make sense of some bad behavior, would say, "You're just going through a phase," which used to infuriate me. But just recently, it occurred to me that if you think of it like phases of the moon, it's like, well, actually, that might have been true. This is called Luna. I go through phases like the moon. I can be so full that I think I rival the sun, plagiarizing her light, claiming the night sky as my stage. But I can also be reduced to a sliver, a fingernail clipping, giving no more light than a cat's eye in a distant headlight. Full, empty, unmistakable, invisible, a mover of tides or a covered mirror. When full, anxious of fading. When dark, jealous of light. I sometimes think I'd be better off as a small, steady star, a pinprick exempt from the pendulum of change. But then I'd never light the way for someone lost, or give lovers an excuse for an act of daring. I need to embrace the changeability of being. I need to be grateful for my place in the firmament. I need to shine when I can. This is Beautiful Monster. He wonders if he should call more often, remember details, take part more, be somehow different. He wonders if he has turned himself into some kind of freak, or if he has evolved perfectly. The great unblinking eye, all tear ducts and photographic plate, the twisted ink-stained fingers, the cast-iron heart held together with tiny gold screws. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. Again, I want to thank you for coming. It's so great that you're here. It's all these friendly faces, and some of you guys have been supporting me since the beginning, and thank you very much. On an aside, I have a whole lot of books, and if you wanted to buy some, I would be happy to sell them to you. The whole goal here is to not have to carry any more stuff home than I have to. So please have another glass of wine, buy a book, steal a potted plant, whatever you're going to do. For my own brain, I gave these 3 pieces of music names because they don't really have titles, because they're just, soundtrack for the poems. But just in an attempt at organization, I gave them names. So the first block of poems was called Wonder, and the second one was called Doubt, and this third one is called Hope. This is unapologize. I send my cautious love. I withdraw my request. I unapologize. I broke it. I stole it. I failed it. So what? Your God loves me, and so should you. You seem confused by the gate, which side is in and which side is out. I'm King David, remember? I can fight and fuck and kill and lose my way, but God loves my heart and my poems. I'm as safe as you. We are equals, so knock off the lectures. I'm not listening. I'm distracted by bird song, by a car radio, by a girl humming to herself. I unapologize. If saying the truth hurt your feelings, then you're welcome. If trying to be myself made you uncomfortable, you're welcome. The only thing I will regret was trying to be what you wanted and making liars of us both. I pump myself up on love like a young brute on steroids. I accept these good hard lessons like a sinkhole. I move forward like time. And every morning the sun is squeezed from the earth and rises squalling into the sky, never perfect, always just right. Thank you. This is reminder. And it tells me something. It tells me that I was right, that I have a precious secret, that I'm a changeling, that my doubts were forgivable mistakes, that my confusion was, in fact, clarity. And it reminds me of things forgotten but not lost. And it soothes me like a mother I've never known but always recognize. And it is the one mirror that is not distorted. And it is the tool that fits in my hand. It is the found clothing that fits as if tailored for me. And it is the letter to me in my own handwriting, bringing me good news from the future. And I weep with joy. And by tomorrow, I will have forgotten everything. This is broken. That's when she knew she could not be fixed. It wasn't a loss of hope, but greater clarity. That sadness wasn't brokenness. That sorrow was the appropriate state for the state of an often cruel world. That a rabbit or squirrel wasn't flawed because of speed and changing direction, and neither were her thoughts. That quitting was the correct course of action when something was just plain wrong. That one wasn't ungrateful for casting off clothes that didn't fit. That fear was a practical reaction to frightening circumstances. That you shouldn't believe something simply because you are told to. That to use society as a mirror would never give you an accurate reflection. That the most important things are private. That perfection wasn't the absence of flaws, but the embracing of them. That's when she knew she would never be fixed, and that it was all right. This poem, thematically, really ought to be the last one. It's not. There's one more after it. But it would make a good last poem, I think. It's called So Be It. There was a time when I burned with shame and desire and guilt and needy love, and I complained bitterly, but lived in that fire and fed it blood and songs and words and poems and whiskey, because that brokenness gave me a name. And a name gives you a family, and I was young and in love and so lonely. And the fire was damp wood and gasoline, alternately sputtering and roaring. It gave me everything and took everything away. No more. No more. If this is the last poem, then so be it. See what I mean? Maybe next time we'll end with that one. Okay, so this is the last one for real. And this one I so want to send out to you with just the most sort of love I can. It's called Congratulations. You've already won. There's no need to compete, to push, to achieve, to charm, to seduce, to convince, to struggle. Look down. See that? Finish line, home plate, ghouls. You don't have to wish or want or envy. You've already got it. You're on the medal podium. You're the top of the charts. You're the valedictorian, the prom king and or queen. You're the Nobel winner, the heavyweight champ. You are you. An honor no one else in all recorded time can claim. Congratulations, you've already won. Can you grow, stretch, improve, strive, discover? Can your love and wisdom grow richer, your peace more profound, your creativity more scintillating? Sure. You just don't have to do it to prove anything or be worthy of love. The universe is crazy about you and grateful that you have accepted the very specific job of being you. Congratulations. Wow. You've already won. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. It's been a treat.